testing out Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep. I just found out about this game yesterday. I was on the Epic Games Store searching for Tiny Tina's Wonderlands to add it to my wish list and saw this. It was free. So I'm testing it out on the Lenovo Yoga 6. It's got the Ryzen 5700U. I am running it on battery power. You'll see the very bottom in pink. I got the battery charge level on the screen. So I'm going to show you what the performance is like and what settings I'm using here. Alright, so this is shortly after the very first intro level in the town hub. Wait for all
The Sorcerer's Tower is no place for heroes.
So see the performance goes up once everything gets loaded in.
To Flame Rock Refuge.
Get away from the NPCs. So stop talking in the background. Show you the settings I'm running here. So unfortunately for the resolution, I had to knock it down to 720p. It does look a lot better at 900p. But it's got huge frame rate swings. It'll dip down to like high 30s, up to like 70 FPS. So just keep it more stable. I had to do it at 720. For this test, I got VSync off, frame rate set to unlimited. This mode right here is the default mode, smoothed. It doesn't smooth anything. I don't know what this means. You could actually, when you toggle stuff in the menu, you can actually see it on screen changing stuff. It doesn't change the FPS. So I'll just leave it on here. The anisotropic filtering, unlike every other game I've tested before, it's always free on this APU, but it does have a penalty cost on here. So let me get to somewhere where there's a view that drops the frame rate. Right about here is pretty good. So you'll see it'll initially drop and then it'll stabilize. Go back into the menu here. So, like I was saying, you can actually see by toggling these settings, it changes the graphics in the background. So if we turn off the anisotropic filtering, your gun and the ground gets very blurry. But it does give you a slight speed boost, especially at a higher resolution. But you need it at 16x, because look at the big difference between the texture on the gun, just toggling it like this, and how blurry the floor textures look. So you need 16x on here, although it does have a performance hit. A lot of these other ones, they don't change much on here. Texture quality does absolutely nothing besides making it look ugly. It's not gonna boost your average FPS. Same thing with game detail. Toggling it to low, doesn't matter. Ambient occlusion does have a big performance hit though. It's nice because it puts self-shadowing on your gun and your fingers, but it's a huge performance hit, so leave that off. Depth of field, same thing. The fast approximate anti-aliasing, it will get rid of the jaggies, and it does have a little bit of performance hit at this low resolution. But you'll see like the line art will thin out. If you do that, it does make things look a little blurrier, but does get rid of jagged edges on the outlines of all the geometry in the world. So it's up to you. I'm going to leave it off just because it makes everything look more crisp, and it does give me a couple extra FPS. View distance, this doesn't do anything. Not at this low resolution, apparently. No cost. PhysX, the CPU is strong enough to power through this. Texture fade, that's just for the Unreal Engine stuff. Fades in the textures, I just leave that alone. But this is pretty much the most stressful area I could find right here, looking at that light bloom, the coronas. But if you turn away, the frame rate will skyrocket. But it's right here where you've got that light source behind the signs. This is the frame rate dropper. If you look away, it'll go up. So it's still very early in the game. I got crap guns. Yeah. Really low damage, really low magazine size. I had to go demonstrate a fight real quick. Look at how slow that reload is. Start against.
Grind! Kill!
So from my experience, normally that's the performance. It's pretty much like that. But even at 720p, the way the art is in this game, it looks really good. Like I said, run this on battery power. And if you go in here, let's turn on VSync. Put that at the 60 FPS cap because the laptop screen doesn't do faster than 60 anyway. Now you got, it looks really smooth on the laptop screen with the frame timing and everything. So this is really nice. And this will extend your battery life too. But man, right here in this hub town, that sunlight coming through the background, that's what's hurting the frame rate right there. Yeah, pretty nice. I mean, the game's free on the Epic Game Store. It's 14 gigs. That's why I installed it. I have all the other Borderlands games. I just never got around to playing them, except for Borderlands 1 I did that all on PlayStation 3 and then continued it on PS4. But apparently they've done updates to this. They've added stuff on. I didn't know it was a DLC for Borderlands 2. We never even heard about it until yesterday when I was trying to add that stuff to the wish list. Running into new areas will dip the frame rate momentarily, but then it'll stabilize if you hold still. And never mind the screen tearing on the recording. That's if it shows up on the recording, it's not the game. It's my adapter I use for the USB to HDMI plug.